So welcome to Property Investing with Abby. On today's episode, we're answering the question, why should I invest in property? Why should I do it when there's so many different options I can use out there for whatever I'm searching for in life? Why property? Well, I want to answer that today, and I'm going to use the whiteboard to help me. Let's have a look. So this is the average person, little sick man look, and I'm going to put, he's a little bit confused look. He looks a bit grumpy, but he's not, he's confused. That's confusion. What is the average person's pain point in life? Why do they decide to invest in general? Maybe not property just yet, but invest. So here's our average person. They're currently working a 9-to-5 job, which means they're told what to do and they're limited by the amount. They're trading time for money. And the average time someone spends at work is normally 40 hours a week. So for 40 hours a week, they're trading their time for money, meaning they can't do anything else because they're working and they're getting the money. What else is wrong with people? Most people in the UK, and there's been studies done on this, have less than £1,000 savings in the bank. Which is huge, isn't it? That really shocked me. And it also made me really sad because, you know, what if something happens with a car? What if they need to get help for somebody? It's really limiting when you don't have money. So they've got a 9-to-5 job. They're trading their time for money. They're 40 hours. But not only that, how many holiday days? So the average in the UK get 28 days, and I'm gonna come over here. 28 days holiday a year. And that's most of the time you're told when to take that with bank holidays. But imagine having 12 months, yet only being able to take 28-day holiday. That's freedom. That's the holidays that you can actually do what you want to do with. Only 28 days holiday, only. The average person isn't free. What do I mean by freedom? They can't wake up on a Monday morning and decide what they want to do. They need to go to work because they need that money. They have debt. Now, most households, we know the country's in significant debt, but most households are in debt. So not only are they having to trade the money, work really hard, they've got no savings really, they've got debt. They're not free. They only need to work 24 hours, and then we've got tax that comes in. And I know everybody needs to pay tax and pay their way in society, but for those higher income holders, they pay a lot of tax. In fact, what they make, they pay at least 40% for the higher bracket taxpayers. 40% to the government. See ya. So I'm actually now working all this time for 60% of my income. The other thing is then, how do they then create, something to pass on to generations? How do they pass stuff on with the kids? Because what do we have? Well, not only do we have this tax, we have inheritance tax. How are they able to live their life and do what they want to do when they're stuck in this? And what teaches us to get stuck in this? Because we start trading time for money, then we get stuck earning a salary. You put salary there. And then we're stuck, aren't we? And then it's so hard to break away from that salary. So why do people come to me and Touchstone all the time and want to invest in property? Well, there's the biggest pains. Now let me show you some of the things that property can do for you. So I'm going to move this. Let's do another person. And this is normally somebody we've worked with for 12 months at Touchstone. And this is what happens. First thing I'm going to do is give them a smile. Woohoo! They're very, very happy. Actually, I'm going to give this person some hair. I'm going to make them into me. Give them a little dress. So this person's really happy. What is this person doing now? If they don't like their job, some of them have sacked their boss, sacked the day job. So they now have time, and time's very important. They've now worked out that having properties can give them passive income. So instead of trading their time for money, they've worked hard to get these properties and they don't need a lot of time on these properties. And these properties will start giving them money, starts going to them. What else do they have when they become a property investor? Because they've got time, they can have unlimited holidays. When you're a property investor, you can basically do so much remote. You don't need to be here. You can be traveling or doing what you want to do. They are tax efficient. So why are property investors tax efficient? Well, because they set up limited companies and they do everything through their limited company, and there's different ways with limited companies to be very, very tax efficient. So that's a biggie. So no longer is the government taking 40% of their salary, because they will start taking corporation tax. And at the moment, corporation tax is 19%. So you can see the difference. So we said that one of the pain points is having no savings. Most of the UK has under £1,000 savings in their bank. Property investors, however, have their savings but it's in property. So what do I mean by that? So here's some more houses this property investor's got. So the property investor has normally got mortgages on the houses. So there's the mortgages, there's the mortgages, there's the mortgages, there's the mortgages. But on top of the mortgages, they've got equity. And that starts to be their savings. Also, 9 times out of 10 what we teach is everything they make from property, they save 10% until they get to 6 months of living costs. And they do that because they're trained to do that, and it's the best way to generate wealth. But they've got the equity now building and they're giving back. Now let's talk about inheritance tax. One of my challenges is with my mum, my mum owns her bungalow with my stepdad in their own name. Now if they get ill or if they need to put into care, what's going to happen? Obviously the local authority is going to want to take the bungalow, sell it to pay for the care. This can't happen when it's all in a property and protected. So one of the things property investors do, they work in a company, they're able to build more of a legacy, stuff that they can hand over from their family without worrying too much about inheritance tax or, the properties being taken from them like I worry for my mum. One of the things property investors will have is debt. But there's a difference between good debt and bad debt, and nobody's ever taught you this because this blew my mind. So property investors will have less bad debt because we train them on what they need to do with their finances. So less bad debt, and most property investors have got 0 bad debt. What is bad debt? That's when you take debt out to get a new TV, a sofa. It's consumer debt. It's items that are never going to make you money. Whereas on this side, the property investor has good debt. What's good debt? It's debt here, what you use so you can make money. So a farmer, I'm going to do a farmer in his field now, look. There's Mr. Farmer, and he's just gone and bought the world's smallest tractor that looks like a bike, but it is a tractor. So a farmer will get into debt for that tractor helps him make money, so that's actually good debt. The biggest thing a property investor has, once they've done this, and normally after they've spent 12 months with us, is they have freedom and choice. And they do not have financial stress because they've got it coming in. And that is the biggest thing, to be able to wake up on a Monday morning and decide what you want to do with nothing hold you back. No financial strains, no time constraints, no boss telling you what to do. This is why property is awesome. Now, a few people might say, okay, I understand about creating more incomes because it's really, really important to have 7 income streams. That's important. So many people will go, but why property, Abby? Because we've still got stocks and shares we could invest in. We've got Bitcoin that people are investing in and doing really well in. We could be an angel investor and invest in business. Why property? Why do I think property is the best thing that you can invest in? Well, let's look at that. And let's do another drawing because I'm really loving doing my drawings today. Here's my house. It's got front door, it's got a little picket fence, and it's pretty. Okay, so why do I think investing in property is the best thing ever, and why I wouldn't invest in the others? Well, I'm educated in property. I'm not educated in stocks and shares. I'm not educated in Bitcoin, so I don't know them, and it would be a risk for me to invest. But I'm educated in property, and property is very simple and straightforward. The thing I like about property most is that it goes up in value. You buy a property, you've got it, and since times began, property prices have gone up in value. It's an asset you've got. You've always got it there, bricks and mortar. You can always do lots of different things with property. So I'm gonna put flexible. As well as going up in value, you also can create a passive income. Now the biggest thing is what do they say about houses? Safe as houses. I feel property investing is safe, secure, and once you know how to do it, it's pretty much straightforward. The hardest part in property is getting your knowledge up there. Once you've got your knowledge up there, it is straightforward and you just learn it and you just do it. Straightforward. So that's why I absolutely love investing in property. And that has allowed me to do the following things in property. I raise joint venture finance. I can do flips. I can do lease options. I can do buy, refurb, refinance. I can do commercial conversions. I can invest in just pure commercial property. And because I can invest in commercial property, I can get what's called capital allowances. And I've basically built my portfolio knowing how to do these things and do them very well and keep doing. I'm gonna put development on there. So another reason I love property is it's so flexible. There's so much you can do once you know how. It's safe, secure, you learn it once, you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And property also, where's my little upset man? Let me find my little upset man. Where is he? Here he is. Here's my upset man. And property, for me, blows every single one of these away. So it can take people from looking like that and looking stressed and wondering, is this all life is? To, yay! Woo! I'm a property investor. So, house prices. Why am I so sure house prices increase year on year? Well, since records began, house prices have gone up. Why are house prices going up so dramatically, you might say? It's because we've got a rising population. So rising population. We have lots more people in the world, and we currently have a housing shortage. So I'll put housing shortage. Not only that, added to this already issue where we've got a rising population, housing shortage, whenever there's a shortage of something, the price goes up. Can everybody remember toilet rolls? During COVID, the first time, people were selling toilet rolls on eBay for like ridiculous amounts of money. Now, there wasn't a shortage of supply with toilet rolls. It was just people were out buying them. But unfortunately, there is a shortage of supply with housing. So what that does is that increases the house price. However, you bolt on COVID-19 and lockdown, and you get a lot of people living in their house thinking, I don't want to live in this house anymore. I want a different life. I want a house with a garden. I don't want a flat. So that's causing more increases across the board as well. The last year, house prices have gone up by 6.9%. And that is in 1 year. The average house price increase each year is normally 4%, which is amazing, but 6.9%. And what did the experts say when we started to go into COVID? Oh, there'll be a housing crash, it's gonna be a nightmare. No, 6.9% in 1 year. That means if you own a house that's worth 100,000, in a year without you doing anything, your house increased by 6.9%. And let's work out what that is. I've just done that wrong because it sold me 69,000, which definitely is not correct. So it's gone up by 6,900 in equity. That's massive, isn't it? As well as if you own a £100,000 house and you're renting it out, you not only get the rental income monthly, but you also get this. Now imagine if you had 10 of these houses. So 10 houses, all worth £100,000. That you've just earned 10 times 6,900, 69,000 you've just increased your wealth by. That is the power of houses, and that's why houses are increasing. And I don't know about you, but where I live in Doncaster, they seem to be building houses left, right and centre, but they are still short. You can go onto your council and find your local plan for your area. It'll tell you how many houses they need to build to keep up with the rising population. And I do not know a council in the UK that is currently keeping up with that. And they'll tell you if they're behind. So rising population, housing shortage, house prices have always gone up since times began. During COVID-19, we've seen that increase, and the average is 4%. That's why I love property. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I really hope I've answered that question. Why should I invest in property? Why should I invest in anything? You know, I hope I've really hit home on maybe some of the things you're feeling or you've seen other people do. The worst thing that I always see is people that are living their lives and think that's it. When we weren't born just to pay bills and die, we were born to do so many other things, yet we get trapped. We get trapped in a system that, you know, you have to break out. So that's why I think property investing is awesome. I also like this whiteboard, so I've written buy on it. Like this video, comment below, and I'll see you next week.